subject to this lecture, which is how English came to India. That's to say the subcontinent. Well, first you must understand that India had always elite tradition of foreigners coming and bringing their languages in the domains of power. The domains of power are government, administration, judiciary, officer corps of the military, higher education, research, higher commerce, and so on. These are called the domains of power, because that's how the state and people, individuals, exercise their power through these structures. Okay. First it was, there's a book by Sheldon, Paulo Sheldon. It's called The Language of Gods and the World of Men. It is about Sanskrit. And the end product of that book is that the language Sanskrit was Samskrita, that is to say, a refined language, understood and used only by the elite, the Brahmins and some of the court, but not understood by the common people who spoke Prakrits, which developed into our Urdu, Hindi, and so on, etc. So it was not the language of the common people. Afterwards, the Turks came in, and they brought Persian, not Turkish. Turkish they spoke at home, but Persian they brought as a court language. And so Persian, again, was not the people's language. It was a language of outsiders, and it was only some people were taught it, and you had to be near either a big city or a center of learning, otherwise you wouldn't know Persian, and if you didn't know Persian, you couldn't get a job in the structures of the empire. So English follows old traditions, nothing new. That is, foreigners coming in, bringing in their languages and ruling, using them in the domains of power. It's not a new phenomenon, it's an old phenomenon in the subcontinent. But this is called, all three are linguistic imperialism, which is defined as essential to social imperialism, which relates to the transmission of the norms and behavior of a model social structure, and these are embedded in language. This occurs whenever a socializing influence is exerted. So all these languages come with a culture, and so they have a socializing influence. They socialize people. And Sanskrit, there's a lot of work on that also, but more of that, more near to us, is Persian. When Persian actually Muslimized the Hindu Amils, who were the bureaucrats, those who were, or the Brahmins in Kashmir, etc., and the caste class in UP and Punjab. They learned Persian, but they didn't only learn Persian, they became Muslimized in dress, achkan, etc. And in the women did not, but men did. Men spoke Urdu, and that's a refined form of Urdu Hindi with more Persian words. But they became Muslimized in other ways also. For instance, if you look at Munshi Daya Shankar Nasim's work, you will find that it starts with Bismillah, it starts with Hamd, Naat, Tariq Rehaman, Mulqa Abad Ali, and then the thing starts. So this is not new. This is something which not only his work but other Hindu poets at that time, writing intellectuals, this is how they would start their work. And very often, writing history, they would write, if a Hindu fighter died, they would write, the Jahannam Rasid, that he was received in hell. They would write about their own fellows. But this was a formula. It's not that they meant it, but it's probably a formula. I have also read accounts of Bismillah being held of Hindu children, in the elite class, of course. But this is not, they did not read Bismillah. What they did was they read, Al-Qaeda from Persian, and there was a Maulvi Sahib or a Munshiji, and after that, this was called Bismillah. If you know Ashfaq Ashfaq Ahmed's short story, which is called Gaderia. No, I'll take this one. So, Gaderia is, it's a very famous short story which you ought to read. And in this, the Daoji teaches Persian and Arabic to these Muslim children, this child. And he works very hard. He puts the children in his own house, extremely dedicated person. And in the end, when this Hindu-Muslim conflict breaks out, so the crook of the village, of the small town, catches hold of Daoji and says, Kalma pad. So Daoji says, Kaun sa kalma? And this crook knows only one kalma. So he says, Ek hi to hai, and starts beating him. Whereas Daoji knows all the kalmas. Of course, I mean, he's an expert. So this was the extent to which the Hindu caste class had been Muslimized. I said this to you so that you can put it into perspective that the Anglicization of the British Muslim elite and Hindu elite and Sikh elite is again not a new phenomenon. It is very much follows what used to happen in the subcontinent earlier also. So, the first phase is called the Orientalist phase. It goes from 17